Good afternoon, everybody. Afternoon. Wake up, wake up.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry to have kept you waiting, but Governor Ridwan is very, very popular and captivated the media for us. Actually, I'd just like to share something with you. For the third time, Britcham is actually putting this on a live stream to the UK. So, what I would like everybody to do in your very, very best Bahasa Indonesia, please, because we've started, is give a big selamat pagi, because it's like 8:30 in the UK right now. A big selamat pagi to everybody in the UK. So come on, in this room.
Selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi UK.
Selamat pagi UK.
All right, thank you very much. I'd just like to welcome you, to say thank you to our sponsors whose posters you'll see around here. And I'm going to hand over all proceedings to Britcham Chairman Ainsley Mack.
Thank you very much, Chris. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. This is a very important event for us as we try and establish our relationships beyond Jakarta, where traditionally a lot of our focus has been in Jakarta. And I'm very pleased today that we've got such a large attendance for this event. There are a couple of other people before I introduce Ridwan Kamil that I want to introduce. First of all, Dr. Bima Sugiarto, who is the Mayor of Bogor. Thank you very much for coming. And Pak Tatan Sujana, who is the newly elected Chairman of the West Java Chamber of Commerce.
Selamat siang. Sobek, Pak.
Pak Tatan and myself just spent an hour or so before this. We had a very, very productive meeting and we had a lot of ideas. And I'm hoping that Pak Tatan, at some point, I'll be able to host him in the UK this year. That's the plan. Ladies and gentlemen, now to our special guest. Ridwan Kamil is an Indonesian architect and politician who's the 15th governor of West Java, the most populous province in Indonesia. And to put that in context, if West Java was a country, in terms of population, it would be larger than Spain and on a par with Colombia, number 30 in the world in terms of population. So you can imagine the extent of the job that Pak Ridwan has to manage West Java. Previously, he was the Mayor of Bandung, was elected in 2013. He's an architect and a lecturer, Department of Architecture, Bandung Institute of Technology. Those of you that visited Bandung after Pak Ridwan became mayor, I'm in the real estate business, and one of the things I did notice was that he made a huge effort to transform quite a lot of underutilized space into very, very good public space. And from my perspective, his understanding of the built environment, the natural environment, and how that interfaces with infrastructure was really, really good. And I hope you see a lot more of that across West Java. He founded an architecture firm, Urbane Indonesia. Again, those of you in the real estate business will know many of the buildings in Jakarta that he designed. In 2018, he successfully ran for governor instead of seeking a second mayoral term. He was elected governor of West Java on 5th of September 2018 with a majority vote of around 34%. He studied architecture at the Bandung Institute of Technology and continued to study for a Master of Urban Design at the College of Environmental Design, University of California in Berkeley. In 2006, Ridwan was the winner of the British Council's Young Creative Entrepreneur Award, representing Indonesia in the International Young Design Entrepreneur of the Year Award. As part of that, I think he spent time in the UK, including time in the UK's two greatest cities, Liverpool and Glasgow. As those of you know, I'm from Glasgow, and the only criticism I have of Pat Ridwan is after he came back, he continued to support Liverpool rather than a football team from Glasgow. Well, I think I did a deal with him earlier today. If we got more investment, he might change his allegiance. Pat Ridwan was selected as the Architect of the Year in 2009 by El Decor magazine. Urban Indonesia was listed in the BCI Asia Top 10 Awards from 2008 to 2010 and again in 2012. So his pedigree as an architect is very well known. Without much further ado, I would like to invite Pat Ridwan to the stage to explain his plans for West Java. And one message I would like to just leave you with is that over the last couple of months, I've had the pleasure of working with a number of members of Pat Ridwan's team, and I've found them extremely cooperative towards British business. I certainly believe there's an awful lot more that we can and should be doing with West Java. So without further ado, Governor Ridwan Kamil, I'd like to welcome you to the stage.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang, good afternoon for everybody. Thank you for the British Chambers of Commerce for having me here. I'm very happy to be among of these very important decision makers in the business. First of all, I always support the change that's happening in my region. West Java, first of all, holds the 20% of the Indonesian population. It's very big. If I can fix this 20% of Indonesia, it's really changed the landscape of Indonesian social and politics. Population is around almost 50 million. Australian population is 25 million, so West Java is double the size of Australia, bigger than Spain. So every day, these 50 million go out from the residents to fight over resources to 27 cities and regions. So now, as a governor, I'm responsible to oversee 27 cities and regions. Before I was a city mayor. Now, as a governor, my vision is, number one, to standardize any best practice in the city level to become the whole provincial level. Geographically also, we are very popular because we are the closest region to Jakarta, where all the decisions about business and politics taken in Jakarta. 60% of the whole industry in Indonesia located in West Java. So you can imagine the size here. From 100% industry in the whole Indonesia, 40% divided for 33 provinces, 60% happen to be only in West Java. That's why our GDP contributed mostly also by manufacturing and industry. We grow more than 5%, slightly above the national level. Some cities are very high, like the city of Bandung, almost 8%. And we experience the growing numbers of higher buying power from the middle class, or some say consuming class. So West Java in general is really representing the face of Indonesia. So if West Java is conducive and stable in terms of social politics, it sends the message that the whole Indonesia also become more or less similar. But if some problem in West Java, socially or politically, it creates also a very worrying situation, mostly to Jakarta and the whole Indonesia. We are very happy to inform that last year, 2018, West Java was #1 in terms of investment realization. We concretely have 116, if I'm not mistaken, trillion rupiah already in place as an investment 2018 alone. Tadi ada datanya Pak. So I think #2, if I'm not mistaken, is Jakarta, then East Java, then Banten, then Central Java. So this #1 realization of investment indicates that we're still the favorite place to do business. By Tempo magazine, we are voted also as a #1 for infrastructure performance and quality. Even though it's not perfect, we need still more things to build, but compared to other provinces, more or less, we are better. Yeah. So this is the slide indicating the size of investment realized last year in 2018. Just to these slides alone, it means any business that you want to have in Indonesia, I'm offering West Java as the door to all of you. Now, as a governor, I used to be also an entrepreneur. That's why I won 2006 Creative Entrepreneur of the Year in the field of design. So I was an entrepreneur. So I'm very open-minded person. Yeah. I'm very pro-business. I was educated in United States. I lived in Hong Kong for 2 years. Lived in Singapore for 1 year. So I exposed to global business. I worked for American company for some years. So I know what you expect. So we want to learn and listen. Yeah. What you need for me to make a change, because the role of leaders, 50% is to make a change. The other 50% is to make sure people are happy. Yeah, people are got what they need in the livelihood of their daily life, and so on. So I'm here to make a change. That's the reason I come to politics. One of the reasons I was a mayor and entered the politics was I was an angry citizen. Yeah, I was in comfort zone. As an architect, I have 70 employees, travel around the world every year, a dozen times a year. But that time, seeing the city was dirty, unruly, corruption, nobody walks the city, happiness index was very low. Yeah, so I decided maybe I should take the city, and for some reason I won. Implementing all my knowledge, my mindset, it's not easy. So the number one challenge for leaders today is changing the mindset. It's not always about money, about knowledge. It's really changing the mindset. It's not easy. So now, the same attitude I will offer to you. Yeah. What can I do to help for your business to grow? What can I do to help to make sure you are comfortable. Yeah. I know some of the complaint would be the permit process, for example, yeah, the clarity of the procedure and so on. So I'm here now. I already now as a governor, I will become your friends. I remember when I was a mayor, there was a high-tech US company. In, investment value was around 300 US dollar, 300 million US dollar. They were about to move to Malaysia because they're not happy with the process. So as a mayor, look, what can I do to help? Just regard me as your butler. Yeah. So I fix all the red tape by myself and my team, because sometimes if we rely on 100% of the normal procedure, sometimes it's very painful. So I took a decision. I will serve the company to make sure they stay in Bandung. So now the company is open. Yeah. This is an aerospace company. Apa nama perusahaannya, Pak Ucup? Perusahaan Amerika itu? I forgot the name. Jabil. It's so famous, I forget the name. So now the 300 million US dollar company is in operation, exporting the high-tech aerospace technology, aeroplane technology. It's not for local market, using Bandung's engineers that are world-class also. And now exported to the global market, located in Bandung. That story is my story of my commitment. So I will do the same for your concern and interest. If you happen to be in West Java, wants to invest and experience some issues. Now, this is my vision about my province. The problem in West Java is the gap. Yeah, the Gini ratio is still a bit high. So it means the middle up, they can translate the opportunities into benefits, into economic value. But the middle low society, they have no clue, they have no knowledge. That's why the gap between Northwest Java and Southwest Java is also problematic. The gap between the rural and urban economy also problematic and so on. So my first vision is to reduce the gap, economical gap in my province. So we started to create what we call the digital West Java. As a digital savvy person, I would like to use my passion of technology to transform the rural area. So we launched what we call Desa Digital. Yeah, it's a digital village. We have 6,000 villages in West Java. In the next 5 years, we want to transform the way they live, the way they do business, to give added value by technology. So this year, I will install 600 villages for Wi-Fi infrastructure. We are asking every villages to have social media account for information and promotion, very simple. We are creating a WhatsApp group between the residents within the village. We are inviting the Indonesian online commerce, the unicorn of Tokopedia and Bukalapak, to sell rural product directly to the market. It's not easy, but it's happening. Yeah. And also we create the IoT approach to transform the way we do things in the village. For example, this vision of digital West Java, coba tampilkan yang di Indramayu. There is a business of catfish farm, yeah, catfish farm, ikan lele. Before the invention of these apps called e-fisheries, the way they do is they give the food to the catfish manually every morning and every evening. It's inefficient, yeah, creating a low profitability and so many incidents. And so on. Now I use the e-fisheries. So every pond of this catfish, you have the container. Within the container, you have the fish food and the chips. So now in this area, the farmer just click the screen on their mobile phone and send a message to the sensor of IoT from Telkomsel and asking the small machine to project the food with accurate volume, morning and evening. And what happens? Usually per year before this IoT, they produce the catfish only twice harvesting time a year. Now double to 4 times a year. So the sales double. Yeah. So I call it digital catfish. Digital, tele-digital. So if Jakarta people eat lele, yeah, catfish in Jakarta, most probably that's the digital catfish from. So this is an example, okay? The village was poor, and we used technology to transform the life of the farmers, asking the millennials, that now very high-tech, savvy person, to solve the problem. It's only one problem, efficiency, using the IoT. So my vision in 5 years, transforming the way we do rice process, yeah, or corn farming, plantation, and so on and so on. So this is one of the vision, transforming the West Java with digital. It's not just for connection or information, but also changing the way we do business and economy. A second vision is we would like to create a progress for our economic growth. Yeah. Currently is 5.19 ya Pak, almost 5.2%. So we need investment to grow this economy. That's why we are very open to this investment. One of the complaints from the investor, besides the permit process, is the lack of connections between regions, between cities. So I'm happy to say many big project is ongoing and also will be happening in West Java. Number one, the airports, one of the biggest airport in West Java is already in place, Kertajati. It takes time, of course, to be fully operated, but currently is already open. And 45 to 1 hour from that area, we are building the biggest seaport in West Java called Patimban, financed by the JICA, Japan. And this is to show that the future of West Java will be located in this area. Not in the Bandung area or Bodebek area, but I vision the future that growth of West Java will be located within this northeast. We call it Rebana Triangle. Re Cirebon, Ba Patimban, Na Kertajati, more or less. Rebana in local language is a music instrument, local music instrument. So the Rebana Triangle will be the future of West Java. If you want to open the business, big factory, I recommend we discuss about this area. The reason why this is a golden opportunity, number one, you have already airports, you have already seaports. The land cost is still low, very affordable. The labor wages is 1.7 million, so one of the lowest in the region. 1 hour from Kawarawang, that's 4.2 million. This area is only 1.7, so very low. For labor-intensive industry, this is the place to be. So this year, I will create a policy to move all the human capital industry to this area. So it will be a big captive market push to that area. So my vision is to be the Suzhou style of Indonesia. As a urban designer, urban planner, I designed some of the Suzhou in China when I was in Hong Kong. Temasek and the group of Singapore came and changed the Suzhou in a big way. So I'm copying the same route for this Urbana Triangle. High-speed train will be finished in 2 years. Currently, the connection Bandung to Jakarta is around 3 to 4 hours. If the high-speed train finish, will be only 35 to 40 minutes. The high-speed train is not the end of the vision; it's a mean, because by having high-speed train, we justify the development of new towns. So within the routes of high-speed train, there will be at least 3 to 4 new towns. So if you have a business in properties, yeah, I'm offering this opportunity also to create a TOD, transit-oriented development, along the high-speed train route connecting Jakarta to Bandung. The business of transportation is very good. I tell you why. When the high-speed train was launched and predicted the cost for ticket is around 200,000 rupiah, people say, "Oh, Mr. Ridwan, it's too much. It's too high. Nobody can afford the 200,000 price of the fare." Yeah. But today, within the regular train, the executive, they pay 300,000 is always sold out. Slow train, regular, the 3 hours train, 300,000 for the premium. So it means you can imagine the issue of this 50 million, yeah, every day moving around here and there is really creating a good business for transportation. One investment on toll road. There is a toll road named Pasir Koja Soroja. There is a toll road within Bandung, Greater Bandung, named Soroja. Yeah. When during the feasibility studies, it was predicted only like 15,000 cars per day. Yeah. So you get the break-even point for some years and for 30 years of concession. But today it's already 40,000 cars a day. So the investor already happy because they get the 30 years, but the break-even point is shorter because the underestimate in terms of prediction. So this is one of a good example how we grow. Why? Because the 5% indicating our middle class is buying anything. They love to travel. That's why the business of low-cost airline is booming, because the middle class, the beautiful of West Java, creating they wants to travel, spend money, not only on basic necessities like education and healthcare, but also spend lots of money for picnics and recreation. Therefore, the connection is very important. Airports, seaports, high-speed train. Now, Pak Jokowi promised me to build new airports in Sukabumi, and also promised to fix the Pangandaran, the area of the Bali of West Java, also with better airports. So, airport of Kertajati, the biggest one, the existing airport of Bandung, the future airport of Sukabumi, the revitalization of Pangandaran airports. Yesterday, we opened the terminal for Tasikmalaya Airport, yeah, and existing to about at least 6 better airports will be in operation in the next 5 years. So that's how we perfected the connection. I inform you also, we would like to be like UK or Europe, is creating a better connection by railway. So currently, if you read the news, we already launched the reactivation for 4 railway routes from Jakarta to Pangandaran, from Bandung to Sumedang, Bandung to the south of Bandung, and many more, including our vision to have connection between the whole south part of West Java, because the south part of West Java is a hidden treasure. Yeah, but if you go there, it's like the south of France. You will be connected by a series of new towns, connected by trains. But now it's under development. So that's a railway. Toll road also. I think the next 5 years, 3 to 4 toll road will be open. Connection now to from Bandung to Kertajati Airport is 50% progress. Maybe in 2 years finish 100%. But Jokowi also will create a new toll road from Bogor, Sukabumi, Cianjur, Bandung. So people have option in the future. You go by toll road to Cipularang, Jakarta, Bandung, or you go the southern connection from Jakarta, Bogor, Sukabumi, Cianjur, Bandung also. So in short, we are very serious in building infrastructure for connectivity in the form of seaport, airport, more toll roads and more railway connection. At the end, it will push the better economy, cost-effective business, and also the capacity to support the mobility of my 50 million people. Tourism also is one of my vision, because West Java is beautiful. We have so many waterfalls. Yeah. We have so many scenery spots. There is an emergence concept of esteem tourism. So millennial, they tend to spend more on tourism instead of buying clothes now, because they want to have some good photo for Instagram. That's why we call it esteem economy, or esteem tourism, or I call it selfie economy. They queue for long queue, they pay just to get a good angle for photos, they upload, wait for the likes, and they're happy. We go home. So this year I spent almost 100 million US dollar to fix 25 touristic destinations in West Java. This is how serious I am as a governor. I put money, 100 million US dollar, to create a better quality of my touristic destinations because of the emergence of this middle class. Yeah. We have 70 million visitors to West Java, but mostly local tourists. Yeah. So this is another one. The other vision is human capital. This is a problematic. People asking me, Mr. Ridwan, what is 4.0? Yeah, it's too difficult to comprehend and to tell the people. But basically, we are moving everything to technology-oriented society. I just learned our vocational system is not good. It creates a massive unemployment. Something wrong with our vocational school. Yeah. It was designed to be market-ready graduate, but at the end, it produced unemployment. So I learned the curriculum is not matching with the global trend. The global economy is to the right, and our vocational curriculum is still to the left. So the market asking you to do touch screen kind of business, we do still manual and mechanical things. So I'm open to change our education. So if in UK there is some institution that I can relate and do some business, we would like to see. I instructed our education department. I give them 6 months to evaluate. Maybe at the end, I will have to shut down some of the vocational schools that produce unemployment, shifting to more 4.0 kind of vocation. So we need that collaboration with UK company. So I think last point, the West Java optimistic note, my vision to change and to be more focus to change West Java to be number one. Also, this is a sample, the best practice of investment. We now believe that the global warming is real. We believe sustainable business and green business is a way to go. But in Indonesia, we don't see many examples. So sometimes this is create an issue in Indonesia. But West Java will take a risk. Everything that relates to sustainable business, we will try to experiment. So municipal waste, I'm happy to say, 2 months ago, we started the groundbreaking of waste to it's RDF technology, changing the municipal waste to replace the coal. Yeah. So we sell the end product to the cement factory. Cement factory usually they need the coal to energize the factory. So now we change the coal, which is very big in carbon footprint, very expensive, to using local waste converted into the RDF products, changing the coal for the cement factory. It's a $40 million business won by the Korean government, Korean company. So the way we do is we set the vision, we make sure the land is ready, we bid the projects when won by the Korean company. We form the company to partner as a local. So we have two companies merged, Korean company and West Java company. So now everybody happy. So this is to say one of the first waste to energy in form of RDF in Indonesia will be operated in 2 years. Per day, 1,500 tons a day, taking the waste from Depok, from Bogor, and some from South Tangerang atau Tangerang Selatan. So this model, we would like to be your top of mind. That this is smooth, this is backed up by professionalism, this is a proof that we are open to PPP, public-private partnership. For example, after this, we would like to use this green, sustainable mindset to the next projects. We will exercise what we call waste to fuel, from waste to fuel, and it will be more or less in the city of, if possible, with the UK company. I forgot the name of the company.
Plastic energy.
Oh yeah. The company is Plastic Energy. Yeah, still in the process to find the local partners to create a good collaboration. So if this, for example, this Plastic Energy company look for 1 hectare in each city in West Java for around maybe $40 million investment, more or less, and I can transform the way we do things in our West Java into more sustainable, changing all the unused plastic and make it to the solar to fuel. So this is my commitment. The proven in RDF technology, the future with plastic energy is also something that we are concerned. So to conclude, please come see me. If you happen to be interested to do something in Indonesia, we have a big population, we have a big productive age, almost 50% under 40, so millennial and Z generation is my biggest constituent, biggest population. I'm very open-minded person, I'm a very pro-business leader, so more than happy to support you. Let me know if you have some problems. I will fix like this American company story to make sure the UK business is flourished in West Java. The other country is very aggressive coming to me, so I really wants to see more from UK. As Liverpool fans, you never walk long, right? So we and also Glasgow. So I think this is more or less my economic vision for West Java. more than happy to support you, and we can do our business together in more mutual benefit and mutual understanding. Thank you.
Look, let's invite Dr. Bima Sugiarto to come to the stage as well for the Q&A. But I think Paul Smith of the British Chamber's got quite a lot of work to do. You've got the digital villages, you've got all your education programs, you've got the vocational training. That I get to work for tonight. A lot of opportunity there. Thank you very much for that. I thought the message you're sending is very good. You're open to business. You're willing to assist companies. As I said at the beginning, I've got personal experience of working with one or two companies that are engaging with West Java at the moment. And I can't speak highly enough of you and your team in the way that you've been assisting the companies. Just before we start the Q&A, I thought it would be appropriate as Dr. Bima Sugiarto is here. You might like to make a statement on behalf of Bogor and just give his views, or even explain some of the opportunities that might be available there.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If I may, I can say that having Kang Emil as our governor is kind of blessing, because he was the mayor of Bandung, so he knows every problems at the city level. So now it's kind of new era in West Java, because we are working in mutual conditions as as a peers in local leaders. And if we are talking about the city of Bogor, we are talking about the city with 1 million people. Every day, no less than 800,000 people are commuting to Bogor and Jakarta, back forward. And every weekend, no less than 400,000 people are spending their weekend in Bogor. And I am very proud to say that we are now actually de facto capital city of Indonesia, because our President Jokowi actually resides in our city in Bogor. Now we are struggling to strengthening the three major identities of Bogor. Bogor as the green city, Bogor as the heritage city, and Bogor as smart city. As the green city, we were known as the first green city in eastern part of the world. A few hundred years ago, we have a huge botanical garden right in the heart of the city. As a smart city, we have some major big universities in Bogor. We have University of Pakuan, IPP, and so on and so forth. And we are really, enjoying the rapid growth populations with the urban growing middle class in the city of Bogor. And now we are focusing on three major homework. First is transportation issues. We are, in the stage of urging our citizens to use public transport. We are improving the quality of public transport. That's in the context of transportations. In terms of waste management, we are now also implementing some new rules to deal with waste management. In the 1st of December last year, we just introduced the new mayoral decree to ban the plastic use in modern market in Bogor. As far as I'm concerned, we are the 4th city in Indonesia to implement this kind of policy. And we are now also focusing on empowering the small-scale economic industries, or UMKM, in the city of Bogor. And it is so fortunate to have Pak Gubernur to assist our project. This year, we were assisted by the provincial level to build kind of, the creative center for youngsters in the city of Bogor. It costs around 18 billion. So it is so meaningful for our city. And ladies and gentlemen, we are inviting the promising, investors to join collaboration with our city. And if we are making some sort of, best practices, it is very possible that it can be duplicated and replicated to other cities in West Java. And I invite you to have a cooperations with Bogor or any other cities in West Java. Not only because Pak Ridwan Kamil has a clear and good visions for a provincial level, but it is very unlikely that Pak Ridwan Kamil will be the strongest presidential candidate for 2024. Thank you.
So, Dr. Bima, does that mean you'll be the strongest candidate for the next governor of West Java?
Good conclusion.
Thank you. One point I'd maybe like to ask Ridwan to comment on is that we saw that the RDF technology, we talked about some other technology maybe going to Bogor. When I was talking to Pat Tatan from the West Java Chamber of Commerce, I think it's important that we don't forget that if we can replicate technologies across cities, we can develop a supporting supply chain to support these technologies. And I was going to ask Pat Ridwan, some of these new technologies, particularly in the energy sector, particularly in the infrastructure sector, sometimes the returns are relatively low. If we compare with other countries and some of the incentives offered by other countries, particularly when it comes to some of the green technologies, are a little bit more attractive than Indonesia, would you be willing to work with us to maybe help lobby the relevant people in the central government to put in place more attractive investment policies?
Yes, as I said, I give you my will. I think the most expensive thing from leaders is political will. I give you my political will. For example, currently I'm doing what your questions. There is a high-tech company from United States wants to open around 400 million US dollar business, still classified, but they get some issues in regulation from the center. Look, Ridwan, we fall in love with West Java. We want to open directly 3 locations, not only one, but Ridwan 3 locations. But we need some incentive. We have some issue from the Ibu Sri Mulyani, but some regulation that hinders our progress. So now I'm lobbying Ibu Sri Mulyani, I'm lobbying Pak Jokowi to say, Pak, if you want to have this 4.0 business coming to Indonesia with the representation in West Java, we need to loosen up some of the regulation. So currently I'm lobbying on behalf of this high-tech company to make sure they stay in West Java, because at the end I get the benefit of my GDP growing up. My people will get jobs of hundreds or thousands of millions. So again, in this stage, I will say to your British Chambers of Commerce, if you want me to lobby the central government regulation, even though I'm governor for my region, I'm more than happy to do this, because I'm a person of change, want to see something concrete. Because I learned also many frustration from many companies. It takes too long to lobby the central government, 6 months, 1 year sometimes. That will be more or less my comment.
There you go. You heard it. So if you help at a local level, you'll help at a central government level, and particularly for a number of the industries he was talking about as it relates to infrastructure. I think that type of commitment is very important. There's a lot of people in the room, so what I'd like to do is to open up to questions. We'll take maybe a couple at a time. Yes, sir. Can we get the microphones over there?
Hi, thank you for your time, Governor. I appreciated your talk. I mean, it was on point for a British Chamber event, but I'm disappointed, and I think we're all disappointed that you haven't addressed the elephant in the room. Versace on the floor? You don't like Versace? You don't like Bruno Mars? You don't like Ed Sheeran? All the songs got banned in West Java yesterday?
Okay, you want some direct answer?
I mean, it's half serious, half joking. I mean,
First you have to understand. Yeah, first you have to understand the way we do things in West Java. It's not all the matters under the governor's jurisdiction. Yeah. This commission of, I don't know in English, broadcasting commission is independent. It's not my department. I cannot directly influence or give direction. So the issue of this music thing, I have to review because it's happening just yesterday. So I'm still learning what's happening, what's the issue. I study in US, right? So I'm a very open-minded person. So my answer is I cannot really say something today because I have to review what's going on. But my ideology is open society. It's always my thinking. Yeah. So I think you don't have to worry. As a leader, every day I have problems. Yeah, coming from everywhere, but I will take time to find and give solutions. Maybe not today, but maybe the day after.
but with the serious part of the question, I mean, if you do run in 5 years, there's a lot of conservative, not open-minded people like yourself. I mean, you're very moderate, you're very progressive. A lot of the country isn't, or at least the vocal minority of the country is not. So how do you anticipate balancing that both as a governor and as a potential candidate for president?
That is why I take power. Yeah. This is why I take power in West Java. The last 10 years, Java was leaning more to the right. Now, as an open-minded leader, I make it West Java back to the middle. Yeah, not to the leftists, not to the rightists, but in the middle. It's not easy, but yeah, because in Indonesian politics, I have given only 40% power to make decisions. So in Indonesian politics, 70% decision made by autonomous leader like Padi. When I was a mayor, I make 70% for people's livelihood. The 40% is by the governors and the central government. So I think the challenge of West Java, there is a good side, there is a challenge also, but I will address one by one. I'm not type of the leader who run away from problems. I have to face the problem and create solutions. But you have also to understand the culture is very contextual and relative. What you see okay in US, sometimes it's not okay here, perceived by our local values and religious values. But as I said, we will find some solutions in the next 5 years. Hopefully you will hear more good news from my leadership than the news.
Thank you. Honestly, I wouldn't lose any sleep in Scotland if Bruno Mars was banned. Ed Sheeran as well. He's also. Can I have a question over there at the back on business, please?
Okay, Rahadian from Lenzing. Yeah, my question is for Pak Ridwan Kamil. Lenzing is one of the biggest viscose factory in Purwakarta, Pak. We face some problem with the local NGO, local government officials. As you know, some of the government officials are still corrupt, something like this. So what is your strategy to improve the situation? The level of understanding of the regulation sometimes is not that good level between the central government and the local government. I know Bandung and Bogor is advanced, but what about Purwakarta and other regions? How could you develop this so it's like synchronized, coordinated, something like this? Okay, that's one. And second is, we as a multinational big company always have a high standard ethics, and we also want to have a willing to improve our society, local villagers, etc. We have these CSR funds, but we need to have open mindset like you. We need to have a good discussion how to improve this local society. But in return, we also not getting distracted, disturbed by this local corrupt, officials. So we want to cooperate, we want to collaborate, but we need to have this open mindset. So, what is your strategy for this?
You just repeat the name of your company and the industry.
Yeah, Lensing, South Pacific Viscose Purwakarta. Lensing, yeah, Viscose industry. Viscose, serat rayon Pak. Viscose, yeah. Viscose, yeah. Yeah, we get accused with this Citarum, Harum River, you know, even though we have this high standard environment. But
Yeah, that's the reason I become governor. I want to fix some of your issues. Here's the thing here. I cannot deny we still have some problems. Okay? That is why I learned in 5 years as a city mayor. Yeah. I remember that some of the issue cannot be solved in the mayor level. That's why I optioned either a second term as a mayor or I went as a governor. So I took the decision to become a governor. The role of governor is to coordinate, yeah, and also to standardize what is good in Bandung and Bogor. Now, in my power, I can implement in Purwakarta. Yeah. So, for example, smart cities. Bima has already in place many initiatives in smart cities. I will take example from my own cities as a mayor before. I use technology to fight corruption. That's also number one. Because I cannot, I don't believe if you just give advice to people, people will change. Yeah? So, for example, one of the apps that I use is e-budgeting. Before in Indonesian standard, we have 5,000 programs a year, and every department say, Pak Mayor, this program is very important. Yeah. But when I use the e-budgeting using the apps for data crawling, we found out that 2,000 out of 5,000 is unnecessary. So as a mayor, using the technology, I deleted 2,000 programs and make it efficient only 3,000 programs a year, saving 100 million US dollars for some unused, unnecessary program. That's one thing. We have a program online single submission. Yeah. So my philosophy is you don't have to meet us in person. In this digital era, everything must be done in the digital way. But not out of 27 cities apply this already. So now, in 1 year, that's my vision, to make sure that all 27 cities must apply the online single submission digitally. So hopefully, this will solve the issue of local corruption in the local level because of manual process. Second, I'm a very proactive leader. Yeah. Coba keluarkan gambar. I created, for example, just Jabar Quick Response. I have 14 million followers in my social media, a combination of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Every day, my people complain, Pak Mayor, Pak Ridwan, I cannot pay the bill for the hospital, my house, my neighbor's house is broken, and so on and so on. So I replied to my team, please fix this. It's so many now. So it's so many when I cannot control manually. So I created a system. It's so big. Yeah. So I created Jabar Quick Response. It's a team to respond for emergency issues. And what happened after 1 month, the release of this program, Jabar Quick Response, 40,000 complaints. So my decision was correct. If I didn't create this platform of working unit of quick response, it means there are 40,000 complaints happening in my province. But now systematized by this political. So if you have a problem locally and also Citarum, I will create a system, or you can complain directly to my team. I will fix the problem one by one to make sure your business is happy and overcome.
Yes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sore. Terima kasih. Thank you, Pak Ridwan. My name is Abdul Gofur. I have a company called Media. We are a software engineering company. So we're focusing almost 10 years in software engineering. So on point to one of your highlights about the curriculum of the mainly on technology, information technology. I'm also now president-elect of Association for Information Systems. So it's focusing on the curriculum that reach the university or vocational school to connect with the industry. So for the concrete point, how can I relate or cooperate with your program about lowering the gap between the vocational study to industry needs? So our association is focusing to lowering that gap. So last year we did a CIO forum focusing to connect between the industry needs, mainly on the software engineer and also the IoT. That's two area, mainly on software engineer IoT. To make the gap is very narrow between the needs of the industry and also the study. So on point concrete, how can we do the cooperation on that side? Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I think I appreciate your offer. In the next 6 months, we will evaluate the vocational curriculum. Maybe I would like to have your institution to come aboard, yeah, because we want to learn what's happening in this global economy. Yeah? What needs to be done to adjust to respond to that market. I think the reason why the unemployment is so high from existing vocational school system, because maybe we don't understand the change in the global economy. So we need to know if the 4.0 revolution is happening, what kind of jobs will be disappearing from West Java, and also what kind of the new kind of jobs will be coming through this 4.0 revolution. As a leader, I have to make decisions. Sometimes it's not easy here. Not all people are happy with my decision, but once I decided, once I decide, I think I will firm to my decision, but I need a good data, because no data, no decision. Bad data, bad decision. Good data, good decision. So to make a decision for this vocational system, I need the information. That's why the next 6 months I will travel to many places to learn. And next year I will make a very big decision whether to change the whole vocational system, whether to demolish some of the existing school and changing to market needs and so on and so on. For example, I talked to Astra Group the last couple of months. I'm saying, look, President Jokowi give me instruction, Pak Ridwan, just do whatever you do to make sure the vocational system is relevant. So I talked to Astra, I said to Astra, look, the school asset will be still mine. I will still pay the teacher, but you can use your Astra curriculum. So in the future, there will be Astra vocational school. It will be maybe UK company vocational school. You take over the curriculum. Just make sure my people, my students will graduate with skill that needed in the new economy.
Thank you. If you don't mind, I'm going to put Paul Smith of the British Council on the spot. Paul, is that something that the British Council can get involved with? Over lunch with Pat Tatan from the West Chamber of Commerce, we spoke a lot about the need for vocational training.
Yes, it's music areas. We would love Pat to engage with you in helping you do that review, bring professionals from the UK, sector, private sector, to actually do the baseline study with you, to make recommendations about how you transform that in order to match your workforce needs. thereafter, I'm sure if there are opportunities for the building the curriculum and pedagogy assessment standards in your vocational institutions, being transformed, you can offer professional engagement with UK education systems to do that too. We're ready to respond to this.
Very good. Yeah, I think we badly needed this process. Why? It doesn't make sense. We invite investment for high tech, but you don't have the human capital to support the engine and the system. So I'm worried. Yeah. So I have to combine my political way of opening, inviting investment, but also make sure my people is up to the standard for this future economy. So look forward for this collaboration. Maybe I can select some groups to go to UK and learn the UK style of vocational school.
If you just look at the scale of the infrastructure plans, the amount of engineers you're going to need to support that is huge. And I know a lot of companies struggle to hire good quality engineers here. I think we have a question over at the very back corner there.
Good afternoon. My name is Valken de Mello from the logistics side of the Sinarmas Group. My question to our governor is more linked to Karta Jati. Our governor earlier mentioned about lobbying from the local to the central level. When I look at the Karta Jati model right now, obviously it has a great catchment area, but it will take time. I understand there are plans to perhaps work with the central government and the state-owned enterprise to work on it in the initial stages, but my opinion on it based on experiences in India, Malaysia, Philippines is you cannot develop an airport if it's totally left only to the government and the state-owned enterprises, because it's maybe in the short term they will absorb the losses, but it would be better to perhaps follow a model where you bring in the private sector and you bridge any potential losses in the first 5 years. It would still take a lesser burden on the government's budget, but it will also bring in the expertise that is needed. If you see Indonesia overall, the airports are far behind ASEAN and, well, actually most of Asia. And that will not change by the West Java government giving this airport to the state-owned enterprises. Rather than that, our governor, I feel it would be better to actually have a baseline study wherein you invite some of the private sector and perhaps global partners with the private sector to come and study it and discuss on the plan. This is probably a non-binding approach, but we would be open to actually have these discussions if it would benefit Karta Jati and be used as a model for other airports like Bali, Uttara and Batam. So I think I would like your opinion on this, because I do not believe just giving it to the state-owned enterprise is more like sticking a bandage on a gunshot wound. That's my question. Thank you.
Yes, to inform you, Karta Jati is not managed by the government. Yeah. We created the company. Ini nama perusahaannya apa ya? PT is PT BIJB. Yeah. Within the company, if I'm not mistaken, 30% share is by Angkasa Pura, the Indonesian operator for airports. 30% by our state-owned company, and the remaining percentage is open to any private company who would like to be part of the process. So we already passed that process. We believe airport can be also operated and managed by private sectors, not by the government. The situation of Karta Jati is like chicken and egg. Yeah? Do we prepare the population first, then build the airport, or build airport first and population can? But it's already done. Yeah. So my job now is to make sure the Karta Jati will be handled professionally. Yeah. We wait for the next 2 years for connection the toll road from Bandung to the airport. But in the short term, we would like to invite the logistic business to use Karta Jati. We still have big capacity for instead of transporting people, but transporting goods for export. So we would like to discuss with any logistic networks of company in Indonesia to see and use Kertajati for logistic operations. That's one of the decisions. Second is we invite any developers to create what we call aero cities. It's a property surrounding the airports to make sure we have the business related to transportation industry located in Kertajati. So I think my answer is the company is already there, yeah, and we are hoping to see the next 3 to 5 years. This company, half of them is private sector, can bring the Kertajati up to the global scale.
Thank you. Let's go. David Braithwaite at the back.
Thank you, David Braithwaite from Q Energy. I'll keep my question brief because I know that others want to ask their questions as well in a short space of time remaining. You mentioned infrastructure was your #1 priority, and in addition that a high priority is to develop economic welfare down at village level. From my understanding, in the eastern part of Indonesia, one of the biggest problems is the access to clean water, in particular clean drinking water. I'd like to hear from you whether that is also a concern in West Java, and if it is, if you have plans to deal with that. Thank you.
Can I just check, David, you have a business that creates water from air?
You are a mind reader.
First of all, if we see the factor of today's water in the business of drinking water, I think today in the whole West Java, people get access because you need water to survive. Yeah. So today everybody get access, but they get a different access. Some served by company, yeah, PDAM. Some they own water resources. Some they are buying from some company with more expensive. So for us, the issue is not access to the drinking water. Issue is the access to affordable water. Yeah. So we are open for business for water distributions. Last month I opened the water facilities in Kabupaten Bandung, for example, because the problem today is our local water company still, I think, less than 50%, yeah, to supply to our people with affordable cost. So I think I'm open and more than happy to have investment in water business from UK also, because we need to support the remaining 50% to get better, yeah, and more affordable water business. The issue in West Java in terms of water is a flood issue. It's something also I need some technology. I can give a task for 5 years to fix the Citarum River, from the dirtiest to more livable and much better quality. So it's not easy, but I'm very optimistic. I think we can reach a better situation in 5 years. We involving armies and also the group of scientists and creating a policy backed up by Pak Luhut, the Menko Maritim, to make sure the water quality is done. Citarum now will become the model how to fix problems in all rivers in Indonesia. It's really a comprehensive model, yeah, to fix the water quality issue in Indonesia.
Okay, yes. And then, no, second.
My name is Willis and I come from the Event Bank. I just want to make one announcement. One of my friends, he actually lives in Bandung, and I still remember in 2014, he told me he was on the fence having you as the mayor of Bandung. And actually today when I told him I'm about to hear you speak, he told me, well, Willis, I'm not in the fence anymore. I would like to, if it's possible, to thank you because actually Bandung has improved, especially in terms of landscape. And my question would be, you mentioned that you would like a lot of smart cities happening and a lot of technologies. But I think what would be needed actually is a lot of Indonesians, they're very smart. Is there any particular city or any area, I know you mentioned Rubana earlier, where we could test certain technologies, certain innovations, so it could be not only a platform for people to try their technologies, but also it could be a model, an example for other cities in Indonesia, because Bandung is West Java has a lot of industries.
Yeah, I think one of the city I recommend will be Bogor. Okay, because very urbanized, and again, we have a mayor who gives very strong political will. As I said, it's not about money, it's about technology, it's about political will. And not many have the similarities like Mali. But I have to tell you, I believe in technology that's changing the life of my people. Yeah. Indonesian population 250 million. Number of mobile phone 300 million. So this is a country where number of mobile phone outnumber the population. So I'm using also these to change the way we do financial technology. Yeah. So we would like to see if there is some company in UK that can help me to give access for rural area residents to get fintech for the business, for example. Your question is a bit not easy. Let's have a separate meeting. So I invite you to Bandung. What you need, I will see what can I do for your business. But anything related to technology and helping my people to be more prosper and good, I'm all for the support.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Tri Alinin. I'm from BT Abanyo. I'm trying to be a startup in tourism. You mentioned about West Java probably spend about 100 million in tourism upgrading. I have a question: which area that get the priority? You mentioned also about southern area of West Java. I just went to Rawabuaya 2 weeks ago. To get there, what is the best road I have in the country, even though it's very small, but still very quiet. I just wonder which priority of the area that you try to spend the $100 million on trading. Thank you very much.
Yes, tourism is one of my priorities. I created 2 separate strategies. One, I call it urban tourism. People come to Bogor for shopping, walking, spend money on urban. And also it's a natural tourism landscape. Yeah. For non-urban tourism, Pangandaran will be my priority. That's why the next 2 months, we will push Pangandaran to be the special economic zone. If Pangandaran granted special economic zone, it will be the first in West Java we have special economic zone. The regulation is more or less we have already met the requirements. So hopefully in the month of April or May, Pangandaran will be granted special economic zone. What happened if we have this status is like Nusa Dua. No need a permit from local government. The permit of building anything will be given by special office of that special economic zone, number one. The tax will be lower. Yeah, we have a regulation once you grant a special economic zone, any business in that area will be having a lower tax. Third, the infrastructure from central government must come to special economic zone. So airport will be financed by the central government, widening the toll road and so on. So my suggestion would be if you asking which area, Pangandaran would be the first priority. And we will connect Pangandaran in 1 year to Bintan. So I talked to the Bintan operators. Mr. Mayor, as long as you have airports, and we have Pangandaran airports, and we can have 3 days in Bintan for international visitor and 2 days to Pangandaran with direct flights. And I think Pangandaran will be booming in the next 5 years. The remaining is very much smaller than Pangandaran. Pangandaran would be my recommendation. I have to get something concrete and real. My vision is for 27 cities, but I have to have one champion, one model, which is I decided is the Pangandaran.
So the upgrading the airports already underway.
We are discussing the PPP. So the airport of, this is another example, yeah, to the gentleman before. The airport of Pangandaran will be PPP model. It's owned by us, but we don't want to be the operator. We don't have resources, so we are opening to any operator, private airport operator, to come to me if you're interested, and we can discuss Pangandaran to be managed by private sectors.
UK private airport operators, Phil? Many, right? Yes. Next question.
Yep.
Dr. Singing, keep it brief. He likes his speeches.
Thank you, Esme. So my name is Jay Singhi from Bumilok Group. Actually, we met Ridwan in Bandung. I'm also Vice Chairman of the West Java Youth Council, and we for 2 terms. And with Abima also, we were in UK and Pembentukan Mataram. So my question is very simple. The first one is that I know there are 49, I believe, regional-owned enterprise, and from those 49, on 40 are in the financial sectors, and I think 9 you have some in farming, and 1 including Kertajati as well. And I know that you are trying to rejuvenate and trying to restructure that. So asking if the role for private enterprise to assist in the restructuring of that, particularly few that you have in the farming and some in the transportation. Second one is relating to the transportation. We'll be keen to know more about what is open for the private sectors in the logistics, particularly for Pangandaran, and then after that also in Sumedang, because I understand that Kertajati, in addition to Majalengka, also are touching some kecamatan in the Sumedang Regency. And third one is for the one-stop terminal in Gedebagi. There's basically future plans for that. Thank you.
In West Java, we are now experimenting what we call bureaucracy 3.0. Bureaucracy 1.0 is very primitive. You have a regulation, then you can do business. No regulation, no business. Very old. Today we are doing the 2.0. Is what we call performance-based bureaucracy. If you do good, they give you incentive. If you bad performance, we punish you and so on. But the 2.0 is still creating a mindset that any business in the country must regulated or must operated by bureaucracy. So now we are using the 3.0 bureaucracy, is what we call dynamic governance. Asking anybody, any institution who would like to engage to solving one of our development goals, then I will give the opportunity for them to be part of this. So now, because in the future, government will become just enabler, facilitator. So this is happening, for example, in some of area in West Java. Every time we build the facilities, the facility run by the government is always in bad shape, in bad condition, because we were thinking that the government must become operator as well. So I demolished this concept. Now, no more government as operator. We can build the infrastructure, build whatever, but we will not become the operator. So we're asking the private institution to become the operator, with just the enabler or the facilitator. So for this company in transportation, logistics, in Gedebage, in Sumedang, I'm more than happy to support. Sometimes you cannot you cannot wait to get the idea from the government. Maybe you have a good ideas that we don't understand. Please educate us and make us understand. Then we have the power of making decisions. Once I understand the new logic, the new economy, then I make decision and creating a new model, which sometimes not everybody understand. But I'm willing to experiment with the new economy, the new way of managing business, including in the Debagi, Sumedang, and Britcham. So that will be my comment. Let's come to Bandung and let's discuss in more fruitful way and more comprehensive.
Thank you, Yusuf or Chris. How are we doing for time?
Just one more question.
One more. Okay.
Wait.
Thank you very much. My name is Evi Afiatin. I am actually graduate from UK and kurang Sunda asli. Saya dari Kuningan, ayah dari Kuningan, ibu dari Tasikmalaya, dan and I am actually stayed in Jawa Barat for such a long time until I here in Jakarta. Anyway, I would like to thank you because now I am the CFO for BPJS Kerjaan. And I'm very glad that West Java at the moment is one of the governments who is very cooperative with BPJS Kerjaan to support and secure the workers of Indonesia. I am actually interested with your program for the vocational because BPJS Kerjaan as well. We are assigned by the government to help vocational, and in this our budget, we have budget for enhancing and supporting the vocational to meet the unemployment, to lessen the unemployment, and to as well narrowing the gap. So if it is possible, maybe we would like to more elaborate with your vocational program and maybe be in line with our program because we need it, and Jawa Barat is one of the greatest, I think, area in Indonesia for the industry area. So I think this program will be very useful if we can work together for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu, for the support. So I have to thank you, the forum, because now I get information there is a budget for one of my vision. This is again the government 3.0. Some of my burden I will get help by outside institution. That's what I will do in the next coming years. If you listen to presidential debate, yeah, between Pak Jokowi last couple of days, Pak Jokowi mentioned kartu prakerja. Yeah, it's basically that was my idea. Yeah, during the time in Garut, I thought Pak Jokowi, there is a concern in young generation about unemployment. If the central government can do something, I think it's a great news for the young generation. So kartu prakerja is basically a subsidy from the central government for unemployment person. If you graduate and you're still unemployed, yeah, the central government will give you some money for your upgrading your skill up to 1 year. So this is also one of the solutions that the Indonesian government will support the unemployment in the young generation. So Ibu, I think please come to my office. Yeah. Besides selfie, we can discuss what can we do between BPJS Tenaga Kerjaan. You have a budget, you have a mission from the government to support this. I have problem, which is the unemployed graduate from vocational. We have Paul Smith already offer some of the models. So I think this forum already creates the new engagement, very concrete and very happy.
Very good. Thank you. in the interests of European unity, to keep my friends from Ireland happy in these days of Brexit, the last question to Miranda from Ireland.
Selamat sore. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Miranda, Pak Governor. I represent the Embassy of Ireland. I'm just here to let you know that the Irish universities will be visiting Bandung in April to sign MOU with Universitas Pajajaran and ITB for the collaboration of PhD as well as exchanges of professors. It has happened now with UNPAD, but we hope with the other 7 universities from Ireland will increase the collaboration between Ireland and Indonesia. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Ibu, saya tunggu because majority of West Java is still junior high school graduate. It's very sad. So in the 5 years, I want to increase the index more to high school, more to undergraduate level. Yeah. So any cooperation from higher institutions like universities, we are more than happy to support. But you have to remember, Indonesia classify the education by different level. As a governor, my responsibility is only for high school. Pak Bima Arya responsibility for elementary and junior high school. So I cannot interfere too much on his jurisdiction for elementary to junior high school. But if you talk to us about vocational school or high school, that's my responsibility. For university, it is taken care by the central government under the Ministry of Education. But since the location of the agreement in West Java, you have my full support, and let me know what you need. We have more than 300 higher institutions, mostly private sector, how to engage, and not only located in Bandung area. Now as a governor, I have a bigger vision. I have to support Cirebon or other city in the periphery of West Java to be included in the progress of this higher institution education. Terima kasih, nanti ketemu di Bandung.
Ridwan, just to caution you, the Irish have got a very strange accent as well. It's a real challenge to doing anything with it. And also, Ibu Sunda, you have budget, Britcham has ideas. If those of you in the room sort of got a sense that there's a very easy atmosphere in here, that there probably is, and it's because of a relationship that has built not just with Britcham, but with the Britishes as a collective, and that's the British Council, the British Embassy, and the British Chamber as well. And that relationship has been building during the mayoral times and now into governor, and as Mayor Bima intimated, maybe beyond from there. We hope so. Pat Ridwan, thank you very, very much for joining us, and also Mayor Bima as well, and for staying on much, much longer than we had anticipated. You've been very flexible with your time, and we appreciate that flexibility. And to Ainsley for wonderfully managing the Q&A. We'd just like to give you a small token of our appreciation, which is also a commemoration, really, of the an understanding, shall we say, of the new cooperation that's going to happen going forward with West Java and the company that you mentioned earlier, Plastic Energy. It's our appreciation to you. To our sponsors here this afternoon, who are Bumi Laut, the Prudential, Colliers International, and Pete Chickering Dryport. Thank you very, very much, not just today, but for our ministerial series throughout the year. Yep. And also to remind those of you, as we've gone beyond the 5 o'clock threshold, in about 50 minutes, we'll actually be moving into our Global Partners event with Commonwealth countries. It's about 120 people going to be at the poolside if it's not raining. If you'd like to stay on and hover around, do join us for that. And Finally, if Pat Ridwan doesn't mind, we'll do a selfie with everybody in the audience. How about that? That's not one by one.
Oke. Foto dari atas ke bawah.
Come in, everyone. Come in.
I'm quite sure my face is not in
Ya sama-sama. Saya tunggu di Bandung ya. Biar nyambung dengan problem kita gitu. Jadi apa yang sebetulnya sama dengan yang kita masalah. Tahun berapa? Setahun sama sama tahun. Tapi tiap tahun selalu ada pengalaman. Saya bawa surat.
Salam juga. Sekarang di Tokopedia. Ayo tuh buat kerja sama
Oh iya.
Oh iya.
Temannya Ali nih. Terus sedikit teman Ali nih.
Iya. Iya.
Mana Ali nih? Ganti-gantian nanti kalau saya terima kali Pak.
Sebentar, sama ada mungkin nanti ketemu. Oke, siap.
Boleh Pak. Boleh Pak. Iya Ibu Evi. Nama saya Abi. Saya kebetulan di Depok dekat rumahnya Pak Idris.
Oh, Pak Idris dari kota.
Itu ada anggaran.
Siap.
Terima kasih Pak. Jadi supaya boleh aman. Penting BPJS Ketenagakerjaan dengan apa adanya. Ya ada Pak.
Ya.
Ya lagi di.
Jadi ke foto depan.
saya akan review, saya akan cari solusinya kira-kira apa yang menjadi. Saya tahu jadi sampai apa gitu ya. Grup informasi di dalam belum, saya sibuk banget belum baca yang secara umum saya paham ada pembatasan dengan pelarangan, ada pembatasan yang dirasa oleh KPP.
I'm Pak Emil, assistant for investment. I do corporate finance. Good. Oh, good. Headhunting for startup talent. We do a bit more high level. Okay.
Pak, jadi monitor kan, jadi nggak hanya teori aja, langsung konkret, BPJS ketenagakerjaan, dana pelatihan, nasional pelatihan, jadi saya kawinkan pabrik Julia, contohnya harus proaktif, berangkat dari memberikan kenyamanan. Saya bilang berkali-kali, kalau ada apa-apa, terima kasih Pak ya, berikan rasa nyaman bahwa kita udah juara 2018 kan 116 triliun realisasi penjagaan realisasi investasi yang banyak.
Kalau kayak gini kan ketua kadin secara itu marketing, jadi semuanya beliau ngomong saya kemana-mana.
Kalau yang disebut tadi adalah skala kan hanya satu hektar
kemarin Pak Iwan yang jelasin. Tapi belum jadi maksudnya.
lebih besar maka investasi mereka
Jadi